Freaking lasers!
2 days ago, a package was delivered.
What is this? All right.
XTOOL sent me their D1 Pro with a 10-watt module as well as the 40-watt module. Yesterday I set it up and I was playing with it. I'm incredibly impressed with how this thing can mark. I'll show you a little sample. On the laser etch, look how clean and crispy that is. Got to clean up this blade, and I'm going to use this to put on my maker's mark instead of electro etching it. And hopefully, I don't ever have to use electro etching on my blades again. Now, not that there's necessarily anything wrong with electro etching, but I've been using the Personalizer Plus. It works great. The one thing with it though, if you're not really careful in how you mask off a blade, I've had it bleed through and actually end up putting markings around the stencil before. Now obviously that's user error and a mistake on my part, but if I can figure out a way to repeatedly laser etch my knives, I remove the chance of that happening. And I really do think that this little XTOOL is going to be fantastic. XTOOL sent me this unit. I also have some more things coming for it. I've got longer rails to make this almost like 30-inch capacity on the Y-axis. But these two heads, really cool. I'm gonna do a lot more stuff with the 40 watt. Here's what the 40 watt does though. It etched this into here. So these are all my knife templates. If I take all of them, I just make this one file, save it, super easy to do. I can just blast through and like properly etch all my knife designs. This is a 10 watt etch on leather. And look at that. I just can't believe how nice of a job that does. One of the biggest pains when doing a leather sheath is cutting them out. Once I get the honeycomb bed, I'm gonna try cutting leather, but if I have all my knife sheaths as templates, I just batch them out, like laser cut them. You can mark the holes. You can even put the holes in there if you didn't wanna use stitching awls. You could cut the welt exactly how you want it. That to me is like, wow. So the two things that I'm super duper excited with this machine are etching my knives and cutting out sheaths. But I do want to thank XTOOL for sending me this unit, and man, freaking lasers. I've got it set up where I'm ready to put it into my workflow. This area here that I'm planning on setting up as a welding area, not a welding area yet. Got an old laptop that will be dedicated to it. I have the air assist for it. So right now I'm just gonna get this set up. After that, we'll clean up the blade, and then we're gonna try our first etch on a knife. Kinda nervous, not gonna lie. And then I can also start putting the steel types right on the spine if I wanted to. This is gonna be a game changer. Okay, so we're gonna clean up these few small scratches that we have. All right, so I did more of a hand-sanded finish on this blade. And what I'm gonna do is figure out roughly where I want this logo to be. Let me give myself a little dot right there. And now I'm gonna line up the crosshairs of the laser with that dot, and that should put the mark right there. All right, so over to the laser, you can see I've marked in this little rectangle on this table that I'm working on, and that basically sets the exact line that the X-axis travels on. So I'll just line the spine up of the knife with that, and that way my logo should be properly aligned on the blade. Now, this blade wants to fall down so that the flat is actually at an angle, so I'm just gonna get a little ruler or something just to shim up that side to keep this totally flat. I'll use this cork side to touch the bevel so I don't scratch it. Just like that. That looks pretty good to me. So now, we've gotta set the height. And to do that, we drop down this little arm. And we're gonna loosen off this little retention fastener. Just lower this until it just touches. There we go. And we'll line up this X with that little dot. I can see it. Pretty good to me. And so here's our logo. It's just the E in Homestead Knives. That's the size that it'll be cutting at, so it'll be almost a 1/4 inch high. We're setting it to engrave. Right now I have a stainless steel as the material type, and everything is automatic, so I'm just using the settings that they give. So I hit start, and then there's a framing feature, and let's just make sure I like that nice and slow. Yep. So what the framing does is that it'll show you where it's going to put it. So this light will flash when it's ready to frame. Press that button, and it shows you exactly where it's going to go, and you can do that as many times as you want. You could move the head to a different spot, just like physically grab it and move it. You can toggle it with the controls too, but I think that's gonna be good, so let's give it a shot. And I'm gonna turn on the air assist, which basically blows air through the nozzle just to keep it clean. Always wear your safety specs, and we'll hit the start button. Oh man, I am so nervous. Okay. Okay, the moment of truth. Ooh, yeah, I am definitely happy with that. No chance of runoff or bleed off. Oh man, check that out. I am so stoked. That is a sense of relief and triumph all at the same time. Oh man, I'm super stoked about that. The ability to quickly throw a blade in there, etch a nice, clean, even logo. Obviously repeatable, and you could save that file size to different sizes depending on the blade you're putting your logo on. I want to try another one, and then I want to show you just how durable this etch is. You know, a lot of people might think, hey, it's gonna rub off. I don't think so. We're gonna cut in that little hand again with the two knives going through it, and then we'll take it to a Scotch-Brite belt on the belt grinder just to see how durable it actually is. So I've actually just cleaned this little blade up a bit. And again, we'll just frame it, make sure we like where it's gonna be. Okay, framing complete. Now we'll hit the start. Oh, need my laser specs. That blue diode laser, the light is pretty dangerous. So you absolutely positively wanna be wearing these cool shades. Now, if I want to check that without moving the blade itself, I can hit OK, start, and I can actually move the head. So hit one click, hit one more click. Now we'll be able to see. It turned out okay. Actually, that turned out really good. That is pretty clean. I like it. Looking pretty snazzy. Now we've got a blue Scotch-Brite belt. Let's see what it does. Still there. Well, I think it's safe to say that that mark is fairly permanent. It is a little bit lighter maybe, but I actually had a whole bunch of marks on this blade, and Scotch-Brite would not take them out. Even these Trizacks had a hard time. I ended up going to a 120 grit ceramic. This side here, I have spent probably over 2 minutes straight on the Scotch-Brite, and nothing. So, in fact, it almost looks better. It almost kind of cleans it up a little bit. The one thing I'm super excited about is that now I can do what I've always wanted to do with my knives, and that is to make fake Damascus. I'm just kidding, of course not. But I think that is, it's amazing. I honestly did not expect to get these types of results. The software is so easy to use. Setting up the machine was so easy. I'm gonna do some more in-depth reviews, and I'm just waiting for my honeycomb to come before I start cutting out leather sheaths. But I want to say thank you to XTOOL for sending this to me to look at. Just testing pieces, like this is what I did right before I did that cleaver. And this is actually unheat treated 01 tool steel, and it is clean. I think the one thing you need to be cautious of when you get one of these machines is that you're going to want to etch everything.
Here, kitty, kitty.
All the time.
I'm only kidding.
It's like, yeah, everything of mine is like slowly becoming etched somewhere or other. But also practically, you know, your tools, you could easily mark your name on it. Even like wrenches, screwdrivers. Like if I worked in a shop with other folks and I had a laser like this, that is a good permanent mark. It looks clean, and man, it is so simple. I'm absolutely stoked about this. You know, I've always held off on digital fabrication because I grew up manually working, and I have a skill set that I can make about anything I want with manual tools, milling machines, lathes, grinders, you name it, I can build stuff. And so I've never felt this need to get into digital fabrication, but I think this thing may have just become like my gateway drug. And man, like even now I'm thinking, okay, why don't I water jet cut all my blades? And if they're water jet cut, they're precise, why don't I look into CNC my handles? There's a certain sense of it where I really enjoy the manual process, but this has really opened my eyes to what everybody raves about with digital stuff. If you think you might be interested in getting one of these lasers, I have an affiliate link, a couple links down below, and I'm on their affiliate program. They don't pay me to make this video, they did send me that laser for free, and if you buy through my affiliate link, I make a small commission. But again, that tool, I've had zero issues with it. Setting it up was a breeze, and it is actually a wildly practical addition to my knife shop. Did I say sharp? My knife shop. Anyways, I'm going to get that blade sharpened up, put the handle on it, and that one will be available. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Thanks again to XTOOL for reaching out to me. And if you guys have questions, leave them down below. I will be doing probably another video or two on this XTOOL, maybe even more. You're gonna see it in a lot of my videos, but I would like to do maybe mildly more in-depth one. So if you guys have questions that you would like answered in the next video, please do leave them below. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Cheers. Freaking lasers!